Hello, everyone. Welcome to what are we on? Are we on? See, I don't even know. Let me see. We are on episode 126 of my online free stamping class. I do this every Monday for you guys, and I so enjoy doing this. I've got some beautiful cards to share with you tonight using that new Hello Irresistible. That is one of the sets that came out with our online exclusive. We have gotten word that we are going to have a color refresh this year. So not only are we going to be losing the colors from 2021 to 2023 will be leaving us, which were those, and I'm going to so miss my polished pink, but it's going to be polished pink, fresh freesia, soft succulent, pale papaya, and evening evergreen. Now that being said, it being a refresh, they may actually keep one or two of those colors around. Now, I did listen to one of our demonstrators things today, and they were telling us that obviously, since we all know and we've been hearing all about the Pretty Peacock and the Lost Lagoon, those two colors are actually going to be coming back. Woohoo! Because those are such beautiful colors. I am absolutely in love with Pretty Peacock. Now, Lost Lagoon was before my time, so I don't know really what that color is. I'm assuming it's probably another blue-green color, but we will see. And us as demonstrators, we are going to be able to see all the new colors that come out March 20, it's either 28th or 29th. So keep watch for that if you're a demonstrator. Let's see. I have so many people popping in here and I'm talking and missing everybody. Hello, Peggy. Hello, Lorraine. Hello, Miss Sheila. Hello, Frida. Hello, Mom. Did you see me, Mom? I said hello. She always thinks I forget about her. Hello, Anna. Hello, Noreen. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Rhea. Wow, long time no see, lady. Hello, Kay. Welcome, welcome, you guys. I'm so glad to see you guys all in here. It has been a crazy week, to say the least. So most of you guys all know that Mom had surgery on Tuesday, and that went well. It was a little bit nerve-wracking because it seemed like it was taking way too long for me to get back and see her, but it always is like that. So she went in Tuesday morning. We had to be there at like 5:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning, something like that. I don't know, some god crazy hour of the morning. Like I'm like a vampire. I don't get up those times of the morning. So that was crazy for me. Mom is doing well. I was actually up there earlier. So, what was I going to say? So they wound up keeping her an extra night. So I picked her up on Thursday. We got a phone call early, or actually, no, I take that back. So my husband went to work on Wednesday, or no, what was it? Oh, Thursday. He went to work. So he goes to work. He leaves here around like 3:30 in the morning and has to be to work by 4. And so when he got to work, he worked for about an hour or so and then got a phone call from his brother. His dad had passed. And so it was very odd because normally my husband doesn't get home until roughly around like 12:30. But he came home around 8-ish. And he kind of just walked in the house and he was really quiet and didn't really say anything. And I was like, what is going on? I'm looking at my clock because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He's home way too early. And so I was in the middle of making coffee and doing my thing. And he's like, so Pop passed last night or early this morning, whatever it was. And so, we just kind of sat there and had like our little moment. And then he had to figure out, what was going on with the family and how when they were going to set up the funeral and all that good stuff, because his brother's kind of in control of all that, along with the stepmom. So that's all been going on. So of course, you know, it was just kind of a lot. And then, but I got to go pick up my mom. So that was kind of nice, because then I had to, you know, kind of clear my head a little bit about what was going on. Hello, Laura. And so, but it was good to bring mom home. I'm sure she was ecstatic to be home and to be able to be in her own bed. She is doing very well. Hello, Chris. I think that's how you say your name. I'm assuming that's how it's said, because Cries would not be, I can't imagine that being your name. So please correct me if I am wrong, but I'm assuming it's Chris. Hello, Marcia. But that is a fabulous way of spelling it if your name is Chris, because that is way cool. And just a little backstory with me, I have a thing about Y's being in people's names. So all 3 of my kids have Y's in their name. Now, I double blessed my youngest daughter and put 2 Y's in her name. So really slaughtered her name up. So yeah, I have this thing about Y's. So whenever I see people's names spelled differently, it just, it makes my heart happy, because I love tweaking with spelling of names. It's just kind of my jam. So, you guys have seen, hopefully you guys have been able to go online and check out the online exclusives. There is some fabulous new products in there. It was kind of cool because us demonstrators weren't even allowed to see all of it. We got a little snippet of the pre-order of the things that we could order the previous, starting, what was it, in February. But then when it hit live for customers as well, we got to see a lot of those new products also. So I have an order going in on getting some of that fabulous new stuff that is dropped. Now, I have my computer opened up over here so I can make sure I can tell you guys correct dates, because I know sometimes I'm like him-hawing around. Well, I want to be sure that I tell you exactly dates when I get you guys flipped around and tell you about some of that product. But so last night, I had a great time. Me and my BFF got to go out, my homie. Her and we try to get together a couple of days out of the month. She turned me on to this place here that I had never been to, never even knew we had one. It is a local brewery here in Tucson, so shout out to them. If you are ever in Tucson, please check out Barrio's brewery. It is amazing. They have wonderful food and wonderful drinks. Now I don't typically drink at all, but I tried this, what is it called? A Dirty Arnold Palmer. And I have grown to love these drinks. They are amazing. I can only drink one because I already start feeling a little bit tipsy. So I'm like, no, I'll have one when I first get there. And then by the time we leave, because we sit there and we talk for hours, and we always go in and we have their, they're kind of like steak fries. They're amazing, but it's part of their appetizer, and then chips and salsa. So we sit there and we just chat it up, and we have our drinks and have our little appetizers. But it is such a neat place. Now, it used to be an old train station. So when you sit out on the actual walkway of where people used to stand to get on the train. And as you're sitting there eating, you'll hear the big trains go by and their horns and stuff. It's a really cool place. So afterwards, when we go to leave, she goes, "Have you ever had boba?" And I'm like boba tea? And she goes, "Yeah, have you ever had that?" And I go, "I did, and it's kind of gross." I was like, no offense, but I think it's nasty. And she's like, "Well, then you haven't had the right kind." I'm like, okay, maybe I haven't. Me and my kid were at the mall one day, and he talked me into, he's like, "Mom, have you heard of this new stuff that they came out?" And this was a couple years ago. "Have you heard about this new tea that they have?" And blah, 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 blah. And so he talked me into getting one, which we did. We both threw them away because they were nasty. So she had me sold. She was like, "Okay." And I said, as long as they have coffee flavor, I'm okay. And she goes, "They have a wonderful coffee one." So we get to this boba tea place. I get in there, and she she tells me, she goes, okay, I know the coffee one to get for you. So we're standing there and she goes, have you ever had popping boba? And I go, girl, I've only had the one. I don't know what popping boba is. So she goes, okay, I'm going to get the popping boba and then I'm going to get you the coffee one. Okay. Well, the popping boba are like those little balls, the little boba things that pop and have juice inside of them. So when you bite into it, like this juice flavoring stuff goes in your mouth. Kind of odd, but okay. Go with me here. And so with the coffee one, they're crystals. They're boba crystals. So they look like little ice cubes, but they taste like Jello. They're weird. It's some kind of tapioca thing. So if you guys know what it is, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so I go, they hand me my cup. Well, I watched them make this drink. They pulled a cup out of the thing. There was no lid on the cup. It was just a straight cup. They cover the whole outside of the cup with this dark syrup, like coffee looking stuff. And then they put this milk tea in the inside. And then they go and they put your coffee flavored, the boba crystals in there. Okay. They put some ice, they blend it, whatever. Well, when he hands it to me, it's got like, okay, so you know when you buy sour cream or yogurt or anything and you pull the plastic lid off and then there's the little seal in the inside that covers the actual container so nobody can prop that open and like contaminate it. Well, it's got one of those on there. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I just watched him make that. How did it get a lid on there? I go, and there's no straw hole. They handed me a straw. And she goes, you have to shove the straw through that. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. There's like a whole science behind I have to shove the straw through the plastic and it works. So, okay, so we're standing there. So she shoves it through the thing. I almost dropped the cup. So I'm like, oh my Lord. So I held on to it. And she goes, now you have to drink this. It is amazing. She goes, you have to shake it because that syrup was around the outside, the coffee flavoring. So I drink it and all these like weird Jello things start shooting into my mouth. I spit them all back out in my hand and I'm like, she goes, no, you have to chew those. I go, I'm a texture person. So it was so weird to have like these little tiny Jello hard, almost like gummy bears shooting into my mouth as I'm trying to take a drink. Like it just didn't commute with my head. It was like it just wasn't clicking. So she's like, now you got to chew it up. So I'm chewing it and I'm like, okay, this is like liver. It just keeps like, I can't swallow it. Like it was just weird. Now I will have you know the teeth or the coffee flavoring was amazing. But I could not wrap my head around that when I took a drink out of my straw, all these little things were hitting me in the back of my mouth and I'm supposed to chew them up. Okay, so I was like, okay, if I could like eliminate those, the flavoring of the coffee is fabulous, but I will never drink this ever again. She goes, you're crazy. Me and my kids love this. And I go, well, then maybe you're crazy because that's gross. So she goes, okay, well then you need to try mine. I'm like, oh Lord. She got the popping bobas. Okay. So hers is more of a fruity flavor. She got mango or something flavored of these popping bobas. So I take a drink. Again, these little things go shooting into my mouth. I'm just like, oh, what? So she goes, chew them. So I quickly chew it and all these things are ping, 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 ping. They're just like shooting this juice stuff in my mouth. And I'm just like, I can't do this. So if you like boba, congratulations. But I have now been introduced to boba twice and I just can't. So that was my story of the week. My laugh it up, having a good time with my friends. And of course, she always is a crack. I mean, we get together and we always have a great time, regardless whether it's something stupid like boba tea or, just whatever. So it was so nice to just be able to get out of the house for a while and kind of let all the stuff go and just have a good time with my friend. Hello, Deb. So I am going to get you guys flipped around because that is my story of the week. And we are going to talk some pretty serious business here. Not really, but, just some stuff that I want you guys to be aware of that is going on. And I want to be able to give you guys, you refuse to even try it. Well, you know what? You're the smart one because it is, I mean, to each his own. And it was weird because the funny thing is us two old broads, we go inside of this. Oh, and did you guys see? I had to dye my hair again. I couldn't do it any longer. And I was so trying to embrace it. But I just broke down and went ahead and dyed my hair again. Oh, I couldn't do the gray. So, it was funny because this place is right by the college here in Tucson. So there's some young kids in there. It's kind of a hip little place that, you know, the younger crowd hangs out at. And here us, like it had to have been like probably close to like 8:30, 9 o'clock, come walking in here, and we just had food. We had a couple of drinks. We weren't drunk, don't get me wrong, because I refuse to drink and drive. That's not my thing. It was already out of our system. But here we are just having a good time. So we come in here and there's these kids and these couples at tables and stuff. And here we come in there. Of course, we're just who we are, just a hot mess, acting all crazy. And of course, my first time. So all the kids are sitting there going, oh my God, this old lady is coming in here trying to try some boba and she's acting all crazy about this. I'm sure it probably entertained them for a little bit. So, okay, I'm going to get you guys flipped around now. Enough about that. So hold on. Let me get you guys flipped. Okay, I think we are good. I think you can see everything here. Well, I am Danny Garola here at Stampin' the Pink Barn, for those of you who are new to me, and welcome if you are new to viewing. I have some beautiful cards to share with you tonight, so thanks for coming in here. I wanted to go over, before I talk about the paper pumpkin, I want to let you guys know with the online exclusives, these are a new way of purchasing products with us. You're not going to find any of these items in any of our catalogs. These are online items exclusively. So you're going to only find them online. Now, what Stampin' Up! Has done is they have actually added our kits on the online exclusive, which I have to tell you guys, I think was a genius idea, because I do know I have had people tell me that they had a heck of a time trying to find the kits in our store. So I think them adding it to the online exclusives and having it be the first thing that pops up, and when you go in there, you can see all of our current kits, is really going to be a wonderful thing for all of us with shopping in our stores and promoting our kits. So the other thing that I want to tell you is they have brought back our circle punches. Now, that being said, I know we are all so excited. It has just been one of those things that it was a miracle seeing them come back. The 1 3/4 inch punch is already in back order. So it's not available. It says it's currently unavailable right now. But the nice thing is it will be restocked. So let me tell you when that is going to be coming back in, so you guys will know. Okay, so that is going to be restocked on April 17th. So if you go into the store and say you try to, you order some items and say you go to add that to your cart, it will tell you that you can request to be put on an email when it comes back in the store, because sometimes they get it they get it earlier than April 17th, but that's just the estimated time that we know. It's the week of April 17th, so it could be any one of those days, but it could be sooner than that. So just to let you know, I know that's a big bummer because it did just hit our stores and now it's already, well, that just means that so many of us have been ordering it. Okay, the other thing, the loose frosted dots that I'm going to be showing you guys tonight, because I'm going to be showing pretty much this whole top row up here. The loose frosted dots are going to be, now those don't have a date yet, but they are to be determined. So they will be coming back. They're not on our retired list. But there was one item that I did see go to the retired list and I was kind of baffled, but nonetheless, it is what it is that I wanted to let you guys know. Okay, so the adhesive backed Milky Dots, they go with this set right here, or with this bundle with the Regency Park. So if you have been looking at the Regency Park, the dies with the 2 stamp set and the punch, there is that cane weave embossing folder. Now this is all able to be purchased, but the Milky Dots have been put on the no longer available. So it doesn't look like they're going to be bringing those back, which is a real big bummer because these are absolutely gorgeous, but you know, sometimes that happens. And I wanted you guys to know, because if you go to buy the full suite and you try to buy all this as one big bundle, you know, like with our suite collections, it's going to tell you that you can't buy that. Now, it's only because the Milky Dots are not available. So you'll have to go in and individually, I mean, order your bundles together so you can save your 10%. But as far as the paper, here's the paper that goes with it. This gorgeous blue and yellows paper. This is the Regency Park paper. That is available. It's just the adhesive dots that are not. So just to let you guys know that, because I like to keep you guys kind of updated on what is going on. All right, so that is all I needed to share about that. So now I can put my computer away. All right, so be sure to, I'm going to put a PDF over on the page, but right now you can go over to my blog. Well, not right now because you're watching me, but I'm just saying. When we're done here, you can go over, or I actually put it in the description of this video. There's a link that'll take you right over to my blog, and you can see the online exclusive items. There's actually a shopping list right there that you can see all the items right in my store. So that's pretty cool. The 10 years of growth is the current paper pumpkin. This is happy, fresh, and colorful vibes to celebrate 10 years of growth. With Paper Pumpkin's 10-year anniversary, and we want to celebrate how much we've grown. This month's kit is all about happy greetings, organic and botanical designs, and a free gift as part of our anniversary celebration that we hope you'll love. It's also the occasion to root for the people in your life who help you grow. Let them know you recognize their support at different chapters of your life by sending them heartfelt cards with happy, fresh, and colorful designs. So this is going to make, it's intended to make 9 cards, each of 3 designs. And it's going to come with the 9 coordinating envelopes. It's also going to come with the all occasion stamp set. It's also going to come with another free stamp set in there as well for them to celebrate their 10 years. So they're kind of like, hey, you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Hey, we're going to give you an extra free gift because we're celebrating our 10 years of growth. It's also going to have some gold foil sentiments. It's going to be coming with a polished pink Stampin' Up spot. And yeah, so this is going to be really fun. So be sure to tune in March 30th. I will be doing my alternatives for this kit. So just to let you guys know, mystery stamping is coming up on the 15th. You can read more about that when you click on the button there for it's attached to this video here, if I could use my words. I'm looking at the calendar trying to think at the same time. My brain just doesn't do more than one thing at once. So on Wednesday this week, on the 8th, I will be putting out the supply list. So make sure that you check that out and get your supplies ready. On the 15th, I will be going live. Now, on the 12th, there is daylight savings for all of you guys. Here in Arizona, we do not observe daylight savings, which really kind of makes things funky for me because during the winter months, I am Mountain Standard Time, and during the spring, summer months, I am Pacific Time. So it really I really have to stay on the ball of knowing when the time changes are going to happen, so I can make sure that I keep you guys all on the same you know, schedule, so I'm not really messing things around. But since we don't change time, I really have to watch what's going on. So I have decided to go to, I will be doing it at 6 p.m. So it'll be Pacific time, because then it will still be 7 o'clock Mountain time. But since I will then be Pacific time, I'm going to be an hour early for Pacific people. Now that doesn't really change anybody else, because it'll still be 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern. But just to let you guys know, because I know it like really screws around with people when they read my thing, because to you, it's going to look like, if you go in there and read it now, it's going to look like it's an hour behind, but it'll all work out once the times come. So just to let you guys know that. And I hate having to always like try to tell you guys, because it's kind of screwy. But I did read the other day on the news that it is going to be up for, like they're going to vote whether or not they're going to take daylight savings away. And if they did, that might be a kind of a cool thing, as long as they stay like with our times, because then it'll be all across the board, you know, with staying consistent with the times in every zone, instead of me having to do this flip-flop thing a couple times a year. So just to let you guys know. All right, so let's get to winners of last week's cards. So the cards that we made in episode 125 were all the Shamrock St. Patrick's Day cards, all these lucky cards. So, oh, I'm shedding like crazy. I have hair all over me. So I'm picking my hairs off because they're itching my arms. So, so for the first card, for liking last week's video, so the way that you get entered into winning one of the cards, so you're going to win the cards from the previous week. So for tonight's cards, not these cards, but the 3 cards that I made tonight during class, I will draw winners from those of you who comment, those of you who like my video, and those of you who share my video. You will be entered into next week's giveaway for the cards that I make tonight. So I give all my cards that I create, I give them away, because why not, right? There's only so many cards that I need in my life. Otherwise I would overwhelm myself. So this one right here is going to go for liking last week's video. This is going to Miss Jamie Wise. So Jamie, this card is coming to you. So I've left it blank in the inside, so you can decide how you want to write in there, or what kind of sentiment you want to put in. But it says good luck. So just kind of simple and clean, but a very, very beautiful card. I use some of those new embossing folders that are in that exclusive. So there is an exclusive embossing folder set that you get 3 embossing folders in that purchase. It's really kind of cool. So this is one of them. So this card is going to Jamie. The next card is this one here. Now, all last week's cards, I made St. Patrick's Day cards, and I used the Country Bouquet set. So just to let you guys know what I used. So this one here, Best of Luck. And the inside, I just put that same Garden Green Designer Series paper on the inside. This one is going to go to Bonnie Bletchell. So Bonnie, I'm not sure if I have your address. I think I do, but if not, please go ahead and message me anyways and let me know your address. Or you can also, if you're not comfortable with messaging through Facebook Messenger, you can email me at stampinthepinkbarn at gmail.com, and you can send me your email that way. I mean, your address that way, so I can get this in the mail to you. And this last card here, this was, this one's kind of my favorite. Well, you know, they're all my favorites, but this one, I just really love the way that it turned out. I did the inside with that Designer Series paper there, But this one is going to be going to Debbie Spicer. So Miss Debbie, I think I have your address, but if not, again, go ahead and message it to me just so I make sure I have it. So congratulations all you guys for liking and sharing and commenting on the week's video. All right, so like I said, we're using so the collection, the sweet collection, is called Hello Irresistible, but the bundle here is called the Irresistible Blooms. This is the stamp and the dies. Now this makes some gorgeous cards. I am going to tell you, I am in love with this font. So I am like thinking of millions of cards that I'm going to be using with just this font here, because I love the little swishy, swirly look to this. I'm really into that. It says, I like you. Thank you. Hello. Hooray, it's your day. I couldn't be happier to have you as my friend. So really, really cool sentiments in this. So we're going to have fun playing with this. Here's the paper. Again, I was telling you that this is the set that has the Pretty Peacock and the Lost Lagoon colors in it. And like I said, they let us know that those are going to be coming back in the color refresh this year. So you will be seeing those colors in the current catalog. Speaking of catalogs, if you place an order with me through the month of March, I will be adding you to my mailing selector. I will be sending the mailing selector in on March 31st. So if you're going to place an order, make sure you do it before March 31st. And so all I ask is that you place at least a $20 order, and I will get a catalog coming your way free of charge. I don't charge any shipping or anything like that. Now, if you wait until after March, and if you do live outside of my current city that I live in here in Tucson, I then do charge for the shipping if you're not a current customer. Now, if you're a current customer, I will absolutely send a catalog to you if you did not purchase, make a purchase in March, and say like you make a purchase April 1st. Now, as long as your order's over $20, I'm going to send that catalog to you myself without charge. But if you're not a current customer and you still want a catalog, then I do just ask that you pay for the shipping. Now, I have request form or catalog request form over on my blog. It's on every one of my blog posts as you scroll down, so you can go in there and just click on that and fill out the little form for me. Okay, so I have been hoarding this piece of Pretty Peacock because I knew I packed and already moved it up to the other house, but I have no idea where it's at up there. It's probably either in one of the closets or one of the sheds or something, because that's where I put all of my old stuff that I thought was retired. Well, now I know not to do that ever again. So I have been like hoarding this little piece of Pretty Peacock because I found this at the bottom of my scraps. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. I need that in my life. Because I have the stamp pad, I have the reinker, I have that kind of stuff, but I just didn't have any paper. Well, it was kind of funny. I went up and I saw my mom this today, and I took her car back up to her since I had driven her back and forth and I had her car. I turned around because I was talking to her about the exclusive items that were online, and I was showing her what I had ordered and blah, 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 blah. And as I turned around to look at her shelf, guess what's sitting right on her shelf right here? The Pretty Peacock, and it's all labeled. I was like, oh my gosh, you have it. I need to take some sheets from you. So I grabbed a couple of full sheets so I can make sure I had a lot of paper, so I don't have to like sit there and do just little tiny pieces. So I hoard my paper because I can't get it now until it is in the refresh. So I have to wait just like everybody else. All right. So let's get down to business here. All right, so for this first card, I am going to be using this is soft seafoam, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're gonna simply just fold it in half here. I'm trying to see, well, this one doesn't really have a raw edge side that I like to put on the inside. All right, where did I just put my bone folder? I know oh, there it is. Put it in the wrong container. Okay, so there's my base. Again, that is soft seafoam. My next layer that I am coming in with is, woo la la, isn't that beautiful? Now that is called, oh goodness, I had it. Here it is. This is the rose gold specialty paper. This is in the annual catalog, the current catalog now. This comes with 6 sheets. You're going to get, so this is more of like a matte rose gold. You're going to get 2 of those. Then there's a very, very shimmery, almost like a mirrored image. So now you're going to look at all my cameras and stuff and see me. And then we have this very iridescent-y looking, and that's the piece that I've chosen here. Well, I've obviously cut a sheet up, but you're going to get 2 of those as well. So just to show you how gorgeous that paper is. And that really is kind of rainbowy-ish now that I see it reflecting on everything. Okay, so this is 4 by 5.25. So this is going to be my, ooh, and there's fingerprints on it. Well, we don't want fingerprints, but you're not going to see much anyways, because you're just going to see a little bit of layer there. And then my next piece that I've taken a piece of this. Now this is the Hello Irresistible 6 by 6. Now this is got some gorgeous paper in it. You've got both sides here. You get 48 sheets with this, so you're going to get 4 of each one of these. The back side is more of a watercolor look to it. Here is this one. I love this lined paper. And then you've got this one. Which has kind of that same design that the die has in it. This is more of a leaf print. Now these flowers here along, maybe this one doesn't, but I'll show you that, oh, this leaf one does. You can actually use the dies right here to cut. You've got the big flower die right here and the little flower die right here. The little one goes on this flower, the big one goes on this, and I'm going to actually be cutting some of those out, so I'll show you that the dies coordinate with this paper for cutting those flowers out. Oops, shoot, I keep forgetting to flip it over, and I don't know why I'm flipping it, but whatever. Now that I flipped it, I better keep it all consistent. Same with these leaves. The leaves dies will actually cut the 2 different sets of leaves here. So you've got the greens and yellows on that one. I think this is just gorgeous. I'm actually going to use part of this on one of our cards tonight. And I love this. So I'm actually going to use this side and this side for one of the cards. Then you've got some soft seafoam. There's that pretty peacock. Oh, so beautiful. And then I'm going to use this sheet on one of my other cards because I like how this has got your flirty flamingo along with your daffodil delight, or the other 2, the yellows that are in there. So again, this paper gets cut out with those dies, the flowers do. And there is that. Again, cutting out the dies. So that's pretty cool. That I love when they do that, because there's sometimes you just want to make a quick card and you don't want to have to get all the stamp colors out. You don't want to have to get all the stuff out. And so you already have your paper to create your card, and then it just makes it it really simple to be able to just die cut out of that paper. So this piece here, I believe, is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So it's a little bit bigger than what I was thinking. Okay, now that's gonna just get layered on there with just a little edge around that. So you just really get kind of, I mean, that paper's so gorgeous on its own. So just to have that little bit peeking through, you really still get that rainbowy color. And so that's gonna go like that. Then what we need to do is grab our different papers that we're gonna use. I'm going to be grabbing another sheet of that rose gold, and I'm going to be taking oh, I have like a frog in my throat. This die right here, which does a really neat design, and you'll see it once I die cut this. Yes, this bundle is amazing. Loving it. Oh geez, how am I missing all these messages? My goodness. It's like not scrolling up on there. Hello, Lynn. So I'm going to lay this on here and I'm going to cut that out. And when I do, you're going to see that I get this piece right here out of this. And then so when I just pull that out, I have this beautiful, this is what is created with this die. So as you can see, it gives you a really neat, and it's all put together, but you have to be like careful with it because it's kind of delicate. You're going to have to pull all these little pieces out, but that is what that looks like. Isn't that so cool? So we're going to be using this, but we're going to cut that down a little bit. We're going to also be grabbing this piece here, and I've already die cut a couple of the little leaves out of there. So I have those here. So I just lined up here. I took this one on this leaf here, and then I took this one on one of these 2 leaves here. So this one's got 3 leaves, this one's got 2, and I die cutted those. And so this is what I came out with. There's the 2, and there is the 3. And then I took that pretty peacock and I laid the 2 open leaves here. I absolutely love the open leaf, and when we have open flowers, do I have to request each time to join? Not sure what, Renee, what do you mean? That do you have to request each time to join? So these are the open leaves. Renee, I will message you afterwards to find out and clarify what you're talking about. So then I come out with these 2 pieces using that pretty peacock. So those are going to be next. And then we're going to actually get the little mini machine out, and we're going to cut these so I can show you exactly how those are done. So let me grab, the white one's just handy. I was going to grab the blue one, but I have the white machine right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off part of this because I have to make sure it is small enough to fit in this. So it's kind of hard because I know I'm going to hagger because I have to have enough room to cut those out. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to use scissors so I get the most out of my paper, because let me tell you why I decided to do that. Because if I was to, I don't think requit. No, you shouldn't. Not for Stampin' the Pink Barn, because that's just on Facebook. As long as you hit the notification button, it should always let you know when I go live. Or if you go to my events page and you know you want to join one of my events, hit that going button. And then every time when I get ready to go live, it's going to send you a notification telling you that I'm live. And then you can just join right into it. So I'm not sure about the requesting. it's always hard because I'm sitting on the other side of the way that it works. But I know I watch other people's videos, so I've never had it ask me to, unless it's asking you if, because I think there's some kind of button that you can actually go live with the person who is live. It might be asking you that. Hello, Linda. Maybe that's what it's doing. But welcome, Renee. I'm so glad to see you on here. That might be what the requesting is. I don't know. It's so hard because, like I said, I'm on the flip side of things. So it's kind of like watching the back end of like a movie being made. You don't really know exactly until you're sitting in that hot seat. Okay, so the reason why I cut it like that is because if I was to take my trimmer and cut straight down, I'm going to wind up cutting off one of the petals from one of those. This way, I make sure I'm getting all of my flowers to be able to be cut. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because you guys know how I am. I'm always like, I'm going to hoard my paper and I'm going to get the most that I can get out of it. Well, it's just because I'm not a rich woman and it's just the way it goes. Okay, so I'm going to take the small flower here and try to figure out how this needs to go. So it needs to go just like that. And then I'm just going to put a piece of washi tape like that. Oh, Renee, I have to tell you, Andre talked to Ray today and he will be staying with him the first night. Because he flies in at like midnight. So my husband is flying up to Portland for his dad's funeral. So actually Renee is like kind of a second mom to me. So just letting her know that. Okay, so this one I'm going to have to cut down too because it's still going to be too wide. Okay, just like that. So now I can do the bigger flower. Yeah, when I was younger, I kind of part-time lived at Renee's house, so. Oh, good. I'm glad you got to talk to him. Okay, so there is the next one. Okay, so we are going to be using those two flowers. Sorry that shutting that machine is kind of loud. And I know sometimes the phone picks up on crazy loud sounds and makes it 10 times louder than what it really needs to be, but okay, so here we go. Here are those loose frosted dots, and I was really kind of hesitant about using them today, only for the mere fact that I was not wanting to tease you guys because I know that they're not available right now. But again, like I told you, they will be coming back. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use them because they are so pretty that I don't not want to use them. And you know what? And I cut out the wrong flower, but that's okay. So we're just going to do it again. So I want actually one of the big yellow flowers. Or no, I'm just going to use this one right here. So I'm changing things up here a bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to take out this flower because I kind of want, and I'm going to use two big flowers. So I kind of, instead of using this other little one, I'll save that. But I think I want two of the bigger flowers, but I'm using two different sheets of that paper to get two different colors. Because I actually want some of that yellow, because some of the yellow, that Daffodil Delight, is also inside of that leaf. So I kind of want to pull all those colors together. So just to let you guys know that I'm changing things, but that's okay because I can. So I'm going to put this on here like that again, and then just put some washi to hold that kind of in place so it doesn't shift around in there. And again, as you guys can see, I've staggered my plates, how Stampin' Up! Has told us. Normally, they have told us to do it in like the E form. So like the longer part of the E would be sticking out, and then you've got the center part of an E, and that would be smaller, and then you've got this. Well, I kind of just stagger it. It just works easier for me if I stagger them like this. Now you do it how you want to. Just, they're telling you just make sure that all three are not lined up at the same time, because sometimes the machine has a hard time grabbing all of those, that it works better if it can go up one and then another and then another. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's that. All right, so that's gonna work. All right, let me move that paper over there, get my loose dots, and let's put this together. Now, what I'm gonna do on this more yellow flower is I'm gonna actually stamp right on that flower. So I'm going to use, I'm gonna use Thank You. And again, this font is just so scripty. I love it. So swishy. And I just recently re-inked my pretty peacock because it hasn't been used in a while. It's kind of been put away, but my pads have been here versus my paper that I put in a box. Okay, so let's hope that this is gonna fit on this flower. I think it will. It's just gonna be very tight. So I'm gonna put it just like that. And give that a second to soak in. I like to say that it's marinating into the paper. It's kind of sort of that's what it's doing. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay, so let's grab our pieces of paper here that we're gonna need. So I am simply going to glue this and let that dry for a minute. Okay, I must have a glue booger stuck in here. Oh, yep, I do. Okay, so this, let's see, and I got my glue booger on my paper. No. Okay, so that's gonna sit just like that. And then now, because that is a metallic paper underneath there, I have to give that a little bit of time to dry, because if I try to touch it and that glue is still wet, I'm gonna shift that paper because it's just the way it does, because it's very glossy. Hello, Richard. So I just want you to see that that is what that is going to look like, and then we're going to add that straight to this. But because of this piece here being longer, I'm going to actually add that first, because I want to be able to cut off. Oh, I need a hair tie. My hair is making me warm. 2 seconds, please. So this is going to come down. We're going to actually kind of come in here and take these flowers, and I'm going to put one kind of like that. The other one is going to go, I'm going to probably move this up. So let's just kind of do a dry run here and get everything put on here to see how we're going to fit it. Oh, if I could get this up. This flower's like, no, don't stick me down. Okay, I'm going to go, maybe actually cover that a little bit. So let's take this down to the middle. We're going to kind of go like, I don't know if I want to cover that. It's so pretty. Maybe I'll just go like that and leave that still exposed because we want to see that shiny paper. It's so beautiful. And then we'll take, wow, my fingers are like not working and I'm not even cold. We're going to take some leaves, take some more leaves, kind of go like that. And then we're going to take this and just pop that underneath there like that. And same with that. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think we're going to do it like that. Okay, yep, I think that's going to work. All right, so let's get to gluing. Enough fiddle farting around here. Now I'm just going to place some glue on these dots. I shouldn't have put it on that very far one because it was not necessary because we're going to be cutting that off, but I did, so whatever. Okay, oops, I think I need to go on that one. And so I'm just going to place this right across here, just like that, and I'm going to hold it for just a few seconds. Oh, I love the shine. It's so beautiful. Okay, I need to put a little bit more glue. I didn't go far enough in on these dots. So I really need to add some glue, and then I kind of just really overdid it on that one. So we're just going to go like that. Oh, absolutely. I know. Isn't that a gorgeous? Wouldn't you love to receive that as a thank you card? Wouldn't that just brighten your day? Absolutely. I know it would make me happy. But then again, it's pink, so pink, rose gold, come on. I mean, it's just kind of my jam. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. And I know this is such a hard thing to see, but I'm just going to cut off all that excess because we don't need that. And the same thing over here. Voila, just like that. Now some of these pieces are not going to stick as nicely, so you might have to just come underneath here and just take a little bead of glue and just kind of, don't go crazy with it because you don't want glue everywhere, but just to make that piece stick. Kind of same with these over here, but I'll mess with those later. Let's get to the rest of this. Okay, so I'm going to go like that. And then we can add the leaves underneath there. So this one is going to get stuck with glue straight down. Just like that. This one is now going to get popped up with dimensionals because we want some pop on that one. Okay, like that. Okay, then we're going to bring in these leaves and we're going to put a glue dot on the back of that. And I'm only going to put it on the bottom here that we're going to slide up underneath there because I want the rest of it to be able to kind of do what a leaf does and let it kind of free float. You can play with those and run your bone folder, like if you take your bone folder wherever I put mine. Tell you what, I probably need 10 bone folders sitting on my desk. So let me just show you on this one. If we were to take the leaves, now I can still do it here, but it's just going to be easier to just show you here. Now say if you took this and kind of went like that and made them curl, kind of gives them a whole different look. And obviously putting this in an envelope is going to flatten those somewhat, but that's okay because it's not going to completely flatten it where it's going to take it all away, because as soon as they take it out, that's going to kind of pop back up just a skosh, and that's more of what you want. So let me get this one propped in here. like that. Okay, and then the same thing with this, but I'm just going to put a dab of glue on this one and put this underneath here. And then same with this one. And this one is going to go in between those two, like that. Gorgeous. Woohoo! All right, and then it's all going to get layered on our cardstock here, on our soft sea foam. Okay. Now we're, oh, this is what I need. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so let's add some of these beauties on here. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this down. Okay, looking pretty straight. Okay, so let's take, I'm going to use my, where is it? There it is. I'm going to use my take your pick because I need that sticky stuff on the end to hold my little pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a dab of glue here, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab the frosted dot that I want and then put that right onto that glue. Give it a second because it's going to try to stick to this. So when you pull that off, you want to make sure it's not going to stick to the end of your little thing here, because it will. It'll want to hitchhike. Okay, so I'm going to do one there, and I'm going to take one of the big pink ones, right like that. And then let's do actually another pink one, but I'm going to do it right on that little circle. I'm going to take a medium size one there. And then let's do a medium size yellow, and I'm going to go right above it here. Just like that. Now, since we have an even number, and you guys know how I always tell you, see how those things slide around because it's a shiny paper. Now, you guys know how I always tell you that when you put your embellishments on, that you need to do it in an odd number because things look better in odds. So that is why I'm going to put a fifth one here just to kind of spice things up a bit. And so I'm going to take a, let's see, maybe a smallish pink one, because I can see one hanging out right there. Haha, come here. Come here, you. There we go. Okay, that's it. That is this card done. Okay, so like I tell you guys, I will put an inside to this card and pretty it up in there. But it's more or less for me to show you guys the outside of the card because that's kind of more what we care about. So I will take pictures and you will see pictures of the completed inside and out over on my blog. So let's get to some of the other cards here because we have 2 more cards to do. So I'm going to leave that sitting there. So let me get some of my mess cleaned up here because I want to be able to show that to you. Now I think I'm going to need some of this. So I'm just going to throw that back in here. Okay, because then that will be easy to grab. All right, so the next card that we're going to be doing is I have a scrap piece of white. Now this is where we're going to do some stamping. Now with that online exclusives, this is where I was telling you I decided to use one of the 3D embossing folders. Now on the exclusives, you get all 3 of these in this one pack. So these are really, really cool embossing folders. Now they're 3D. So this is where I tell you, you get that very, very deep impression when you emboss with this. So this is where I was showing you that last week's card. We used one of those. That was that more like kind of crisscross look. That's this folder right here. And then we have this bubbly folder, which I used here for, oh, no, not that card, for our monthly challenge that I do over on our group, our team page. I use the bubbles on that one. Now that's using that embossing folder. And then now I'm going to be sharing with you guys the other one that came with that. And it is this. And these look like almost little starbursts. So I'm going to be using that on this card. Okay, we're going to be using both sizes of those flowers. We're also going to be stamping some of the leaves. So let me move my stuff here so I don't lose anything. Oops, look, we've got one of these hitchhikers. So look, I'm going to bring in my little cow vacuum. Woo, I love it. Just love it. All right, so I am using Petal Pink for my card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're gonna fold it in half. Okay, there's our base. Then I need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm gonna run that through my embossing folder. I'm going to spritz it with water. You guys see me do this. So I spritz, 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 just like that. Get it a little bit wet because, like I said, this being a 3D embossing folder, when I get it a little bit wet, it makes that paper kind of be a little bit more movable and really gives it a deep impression, okay? So I'm going to run that through the embossing folder. And when I do, I get this gorgeous, gorgeous piece here. So that will then go on my, my card base. That will be my second layer. Then I have a piece of Flirty Flamingo. Now this Flirty Flamingo is 3 by 4.25. Okay, that's gonna go there. And then I have this piece of, this is that vellum, the basic vellum. This is where you get 6 sheets. You're gonna get 2 each of the stripes, 2 each of the polka dots, and then 2 of this fern look that is here. No, those are 12 by 12 sheets. So with that, we're going to add that. So that is going to go right behind here. So it's going to, let's get these adhered on here. Now I'm going to go to the edges of this so I make sure it adheres down to my card base. Now you will know that when you emboss your piece of cardstock, it will shrink a little bit because all those pieces are kind of raising up. So it will make your piece of paper just a slight hair smaller than what you cut it. So I just want you to be aware of that. Okay, that's going to go there. This piece is then going to go next. Now this piece here is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I gotta remember which side is the more frosted side. Oh, there we go. I can see it. Okay, that's going to go down next. And then this piece is going to sit right over the top. Kind of just like that. That's going to be the design of this. So what I want to do is I want to take, if I'm going to use my glue because I have such a big piece picking up over this, I'm just going to make sure I'm not going to the edges, but we're not going to see any of this center section. So I can actually go ahead and glue this right down. Normally when I tell you guys to glue vellum, I always tell you guys to use glue dots and do it behind the image that you're going to be placing on top of that vellum, because you don't want to see any of the glue marks. You don't want to see any of the glue dots. So like for instance, if I was going to be putting down I didn't cut out another one of those flowers, but if I had another flower here and if I was going to be sticking it down on here, then I would want to make sure that when I put that flower down, I'm covering the glue dot that I just stuck down. So we're not seeing all that mess behind there. So this piece is going to go there. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pop this up. I'm into popping. We talked about popping bobas, so now we're going to pop our paper. Okay, so this is just going to go right like that, watching my sides to make sure we're even Steven. Okay, just like that. So you're not going to see very much of that vellum, but just enough to know that it's there. Then we are going to take our piece of white and we're going to do some stamping. If I can figure out what I was doing. Okay, so here is Pretty Peacock. We're going to actually stamp our images in Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to do one big and one small. Ooh. Make sure that's got a nice crisp image. Like that. Okay. Then we're going to do the small one. Okay. We'll do that. Just like that. Okay. Give those a couple seconds to dry. So while we are stamping our leaves, we're going to let that just kind of soak in the mask. And actually, I'm going to stamp one more of those so I can show you two different variations of colors of this. Because I was conflicted on what I wanted to do with colors. So I'm going to give you guys kind of some options to see what it looks like. And then when you guys go to duplicate these cards, you'll know what to do. Okay, there's 3 of those. All right, let me stamp another one of the flowers over here so you guys can see the 2 different kind of colors that I was going with. Okay. All right, now I'm going to put this away and I'm going to put this away. Okay, I'm going to bring in 2 like contrasting colors that go with this paper and go with this collection, which is Petal Pink and the Daffodil Delight. And we're going to just play and see kind of what we like here. So I'm going to grab my aqua brush, or water painter is what they changed the name to. And I'm going to make sure that I don't make a mess because I kind of unscrewed that. I hope I didn't get water everywhere. All right, so good thing I have a paper towel sitting right here that I was using to take notes on. As if I don't have a million notepads, but of course I had to use the paper towel. Okay, so just to show you, I'm going to move that. These all have ink on them, so I want to make sure I don't throw any paper in that. I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to squish, squish, squish. So that is going to put ink right there on the lid. And I think that's probably what it was intended to do. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do one of each. Or actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do the pink on these 2. But, well, shoot, I don't know what I want to do. All right, anyways, I'm just going to come in here and grab some of this. Now, as you're going to see, it's going to grab that blue peacock as well, because it is a water-based ink. Our stamp pads are. So it kind of blends with the blue and kind of gives it a little bit of a green tint in there too, kind of like a turquoise. It's really pretty. And then you can go in and grab more ink and make the center of your flower darker yellow to kind of make that look like that. Okay. And then I'm going to also do this big flower because those are the ones that I'm going to actually put on the card. I'm going to put the yellow on the card. See how pretty that is? And it almost looks like the watercolor paper from this suite as well. Because that's what you're doing, is you're creating your flowers in watercolor. But you're just doing it yourself. Okay, so those are our two flowers in that. Now let me show you if we were to do the same thing. Let me wipe this off on my paper towel to get the yellow off of there. If I was going to do petal pink, so squish, squish, squish. Give us some, oops, I didn't do it very tight. Okay, there we go. There we are. And then I'm going to show you on this little flower that you can do it in the pink as well and achieve kind of a whole different color. But nonetheless, as it dries, it gets really, really pretty. So again, it still grabs some of that green. And as this dries, it looks a little bit prettier the drier it gets. But just so I can show you guys that it grabs the blues from that pretty peacock and does the same thing to spread the two different colors around. So this kind of has some yellows, but it still has some greens along with the pretty peacock. All right, so we need to use the big and the small and then the 2-leaf to cut all those out because I'm going to be using, even though this card is pink and you would think that I needed to use the pink ones, I'm going to use a completely different contrast on here because I can. All right, so we're going to go cut all those out. And what I do, now I did this ahead of time because those need to dry, so I don't want to cut those out before they dry. So there's our 3 soft seafoam leaves, and then there are our flowers. And then yes, they curl a little bit, but again, that's almost like the petals of a flower. And then what we're going to do, just to go that extra little, you know, we're gonna do some wink on here to really give it some of that little shimmer and shine that it kind of deserves on these beautiful flower petals. And who doesn't love a little bit of shimmer added to a flower? So we're just gonna do it. Okay, so there's our extra little shimmer. Hope you guys can see the shimmer on there. I know it's hard to see far away like that. So hopefully you can kind of grab some of the shimmer on those. But that is going to be there. So let's go ahead and work on this card. I am actually going to grab some of this. Oops, that's the wrong one. Why did I not have this already taken out? Well, because I didn't. All right, I'm going to grab some of this. This is the Simply Elegant trim, and I'm going to be using the gold. Okay, just like that. And we are going to add our flowers, but we're going to pop these up. So watch what I'm going to do here. That is going to go like so on the corners here. And then we're going to grab some of these leaves. Oh my gosh, my hands are just really being, I don't know. Okay, we're going to put some leaves like that and like this. Okay, we're going to have our leaves coming out the side like that. We're going to take this and we're going to put a strip of adhesive on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just wrap this around kind of so wonky, and then just place it on there. And those are going to kind of just stick out the sides, okay? So watch how we're going to do this. We're going to get our seal to work, or snail, whatever. And then I'm going to do like a big loop like that, and I'm just going to stick it in like that. Now I can finagle this because hold on. Well, I'm just going to leave it there, but I need the thing to come over a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go like that. Put it there. Now, doing it this way, you kind of still have time to play with it and move it around before you call it good. But because we're going to bump up those other flowers, we can still move this around if needed. So I'm not going to cut it yet. I'm going to just leave this. So I just kind of just sporadically put that on there. Now, when I put my flowers, I can still see that I have that loop there, and that's what I wanted. So this is going to kind of go like this. So let me bump this up or pop it up. So I'm going to go kind of like that. Okay, and then this one is going to go right down here like this. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I only put the dimensionals towards the bottom. Get off of me. I'm going to turn this like this. Okay, okay, now I can cut this underneath here. And pull this back out and push. Okay, now it's stuck onto that. All right, so that just gives me a little bit of that extra bling that I want on there. And then I'm going to take my finger this time and not use that bone folder, but I'm going to just peel those up a bit. So see, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. Come in here towards the bottom of the leaf and just place this right down in here, like that. And then the next one, bring it over here in between, kind of turn it so it doesn't hang off the side of that, so we can still fit it in an envelope. Now, I think I'm going to bring in, for this one, I'm going to bring in the pastel adhesive back sequence because you guys know that I love these things. And I'm going to actually use those because I want some more gold on here. And so this leaf is going to go right there. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's bring these in. And what I also wanted to do was, where did I put it? Oh, did I forget to grab it? I'm going to grab another one of our, okay, right here. Let's see. Okay, so I want to grab this banner right here, and I forgot to do this, but this is from the Something Fancy Dies. Now, these labels could be a completely standalone set for you to purchase, and you're going to use them like crazy because they're amazing. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and then I'm going to cut that out of that little bracket with that thing there because I didn't do it earlier. So let me come in here with my, I think I'm going to use I Like You. I'm going to hope that that's going to fit in this stamp or in this. Ooh, and it will. Okay, sweet. All right, so let me grab my pretty peacock. Got things falling all over the place. And there's a hair. And I'm going to stamp this right here. Okay. Lovely. Put that up there because that's got ink on it. And I'm going to take this over to my big cutting machine and I'm going to cut that. So I will be right back. So please be patient with me. Okay, so now can you see as these are drying how that color's kind of taking a better effect on those petals, and it looks a little bit more realistic on those flower petals? I just love it. Okay, this came out of the die set here, so let me put that back so I don't get anything out of place. Now that was the Something Fancy. Now we're going to take this after we place some of our little beautiful embellishments here. Okay, so let's take some of these out and let's bling this baby up. So we've got some of the smaller ones on one sheet and then we've got bigger ones on another here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come in. Oops, I got the wrong side. So I'm going to use the pokey tool because it just seems to grab this a little bit better. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to just going to grab a few of these and just start placing them. I'm going to grab a big one and put it. Now, I guess I probably should put this on here first. We're going to place this right across here. So I'm going to put some glue on. I'm going to put some glue on this side because it's going to be the same height as the flower, and the flower's already popped up. Then I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm just going to put a dimensional on the other side because it needs to be the same height as the flower. So this is then going to just come right across here. I come down just a bit. Beautiful, just like that. Okay, and I guess hold that a few minutes because that doesn't want to stick. All right, there we go. And then we've got this here. I'm going to place that there. Do another one. Right. Let's see. I'll do it over here. Come on, little guy. There we go. And there is card number 2. What do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? I really love the way that those flowers turned out when you add the contrasting color that you want to kind of go in that flower. Because it just grabs just a tiny bit of the pretty peacock. And again, I've added some of that Wink of Stella to those flowers. So now they have some shimmer and shine. But that is card number 2. I hope you guys like that and can kind of see what I've done with those flowers. Okay, so that's card number 2. All right, so now let's get to card number 3. I'm going to put my dies away over here. move this over here. And then that, kind of clean up my mess a little bit here so I can actually find things that I need. My tea is no longer so warm, but that's okay. Okay, again, I'm using another piece of that rose gold. I am going to use another piece of soft sea foam as my base, 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to fold it in half and burnish it to give it that nice crease that it needs. Oh, I need to move that. It's driving me nuts. It won't stand up. Okay, so there is my card base. Then I need, this is where I was saying I'm going to be using that same paper. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of 4 by 5.25 and I have cut it at the, okay, so this is 4 by 5.25. And what I've done is I've cut it at 3 inches on one side. Or if you want to think about it, you've cut it at 2.25 on the other. So it's going to leave you, when you cut it at that 3 mark on wherever you're going to do it, you're going to have one piece that is the 2.25 by 4. And then the other piece is going to be 4 by 3. Okay. So I'm going to use this piece as the top piece, and I'm going to flip it over to use the other side of the paper, because as you can see, it's the same. But I want to be able to see both sides of that designer series paper because I couldn't, you know, decide what I wanted to use. So I'm just going to use them both because I can. All right. So let's glue that down. Now bumping right up to the edge there, I'm just going to glue that there. Okay, now I'm going to take this big round die here and I'm going to cut out my circle from here. When I do, I'm going to get a piece that looks like this, that will be attached to this. So what I have done is I've taken my scissors and I have cut out around the edges to just cut the little very tip that was holding that whole piece together. I've cut it apart from my circle because I just want this little wreath looking piece because I think it's so delicate looking and so dainty. I just think it is gorgeous. So that is now going to become kind of my focal point on this paper. That's going to go there. Then what I need to do is I need to grab that paper again that we had cut those flowers from. And I am going to use 2 of the smaller ones. So I'm going to grab this yellow one right here and this more pink one right here. And I'm going to cut both of those out. So let me go do that. So I'm just using my big machine so I don't have to clank that other one all around over my desk. I will do the leaves over there though, and you guys can see that. But for the flowers, I'm just going to do it on the big machine because it's already here and it's already out and available. And so there is one. Let me cut the other one out. Now it makes no difference cutting wise on whether you use your little machine or big one. It's just, I'm just doing this because I already have my big machine set up here. It's just kind of a time saver for me. Okay, so there are 2 flowers. See how they're kind of 2 different colors, but it's out of that same piece of paper like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all these little leaves. Okay, and this is where I need a scrap piece of my, yeah, where'd my other leaf go? It just fell off. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, don't lose a leaf. Okay, these are all those little open-ended leaves. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of these. So this is when I'm going to bring my other machine in, put my flowers there, and we're going to clank, clank, clank anyways. Okay, I need to cut this paper down just a skosh because it won't fit through this small machine being as big as it is. Okay, I don't want my paper going off onto those wet pieces there. So we're going to cut these out just like this. We're going to do it 3 times. Doesn't mean I'm going to use all of them, but I just want to have options. And since they're not matching any of my stamped images, I don't have to worry about lining them up with anything. But I am going to have all these little bits that popped out of those, but I'm just going to throw them off to the side, and we'll worry about that in a minute. Let's just get them all die cut first. Oops. Okay, now as you can see, some of my leaves have stuck inside of here, and since I can't get that off of there, if you look at all of our dies, every die that we have, there's always, you're going to find a little hole. So anything that is closed like that, see how these ones have these little tiny holes? That's so you can take your pick tool and you can poke and now grab that little piece up there to get that out of the die, because otherwise it's like hard in there, you can't get it out. Now sometimes you can slam your die like you can slam your die down kind of like that, and sometimes it'll jump out. So this one, again, I can't grab it from this way. So let's see if I drop it down. Yep, see, it just popped out of there. So I didn't have to worry about using your take your pick. So here we go. Let's do this one more time, just because we can. Grab this. Oops, get back on there. Okay, that's the last time we have to do that. So this is going to get put away. And we've got all these little straggler pieces everywhere. Okay, that is now garbage. And we've got a leaf that does not want to come out. So again, poke that little hole, and that will bring that to the surface. Poke that little hole. There we go. Okay, there's that flower. We've got all these little bits, little messes. Okay, me put my leaves away, poke these little bits out. Okay, so we've got another straggler leaf stuck inside of this. Poke the little hole, that then bends it back, and then you can pull that right out of that die. Okay, now we've got all these little loose pieces you gotta kind of get out of here. Some people like to leave those pieces in, and that is absolutely okay. So I'm going to clean up all of these little leaves because I like the open leaf look. Okay, so that's cleaned. This one has one. This one's good. This one's good. And this is when my little cow vacuum is my best friend. When you've got all these little pieces laying around like this. That one's cleaned up. Okay, find the little end to that. Let me grab the cow. I know she's loud, but boy does she work amazingly. Okay. All right, now we're going to put this together. So what I'm going to do, maybe, is I'm going to put glue on these little dots here. Okay, like that. And then figure out how I want that. So I'm just going to put it right there. Give it a second to, well, maybe give it a little bit longer of a second. Because apparently it doesn't want to stick to my paper, but it will. We will make it. Okay, like that. Now we're going to take these flowers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my loose dots here. I'm going to take a dot of glue like that in the center, and in this one in the center. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. Wherever I just put it, I could have swore I put it away, but apparently I didn't. Oh, for the love. Oh, I did put it away. See? I just can't see things. So I'm going to take the pink. I'm going to put that in the center. I'm going to take another big pink. Okay, put it in the center. Okay, let those kind of sit and dry for a minute. Make sure you always put the lid on those, because the second you bump that, they will fly everywhere and you will have the biggest darn mess of your life. And then you'll be looking for little dots everywhere. And that's not fun. It's not at all. Okay, so now that we have that, we are going to grab our little leaves here. And where did I put my dimensionals? And we're going to pop these up. I'm just going to do one in the center because I am going to be adding the leaves, so I don't want it to take up space. So I'm going to put this one right here, and this one is going to go right below it, right like that. Okay, just like that. So those both have the lift, and then we're going to have fun with these. I'm going to grab my glue dots, and And I'm going to put it right like that. And as you can see, I'm going to lift this up so you guys can see it. See how my glue dot is not completely on the bottom? Well, that's where I can now take my other leaves and I can now arrange them how I want them. Oops, that's backwards. And I can crisscross it on there like that. Get it off your fingers. Okay. And I'm just going to tuck that a little bit further in. I'm going to tuck that right behind here like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take another one. I'm going to take this little curvy one and place it now in between those two, as it is my middle leaf. Okay, just like that. And you can take them and you can bend them to give them more of that, you know, that leafy looking effect. Okay, this one I'm gonna take and put right down here, coming off like that. Pop that up. Now these are done in the soft seafoam. Okay, I'm going to take this leaf here. And do this one coming straight down like this. Just tuck it in. All right, and then I'm going to do another of those three like I had. This one's going to go here, this one like that, and then I'll do that big one right in the center. Okay, so let me grab my glue dots. Glue dot. Glue dot. Okay, take that off. But this is going to go right here underneath this side. Okay, pick these up, kind of curl them up a bit. Okay, and this one is going to go right in the center of those two. Okay, like that. Okay, so we could leave it just like that, or we can now come in with, let me get rid of all that mess. We can come in with our stamp set here. And I think I like the hello, actually. And I think I'm going to put hello right there. We could do it there. We could do it right up there. What do you think? Either down bottom or kind of up, kind of in the center there. What do you think? You guys let me know. Center or bottom? This is a poll. You guys get to choose. Since one of you lucky viewers who shared this video are going to be entered in the drawing for this card. So this card is going to go to somebody who shares the video. So you guys let me know if you think it looks better there or if it looks better down here. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Patty. Center, you know what? I agree, Sheila. Yep, center. 100%. Because I think it kind of gets lost down here because we've already got all this going on. Yep, you guys are wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here and I'm going to stamp it right on that paper. Give it a few seconds to marinate. And then voila. Okay, another stamp to clean. So there we go. There is card number 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wink these flowers up because we can. And I just love wink. Peggy, you are so welcome, my dear. I'm so glad that you guys are here sharing your evening with me. So let me just tell you that. All right, so there is card number 3. That one's going to be for sharing this video. So you will be entered in to win that one when you share this. The second card was this one right here. So it is going to be for commenting. So all of you who've came in here, let me know where you're watching me from, coming in, just saying hello. You're going to be entered in for this card. And then for liking, so hitting that either little thumbs up or that little heart down there, it is going to put you in the drawing for this card. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So like, comment, share. So I hope you guys give this set a whirl. Get yourselves definitely some of that rose gold paper because it is absolutely stunning paper. Make sure you grab this collection. Again, it is inside of the exclusives only. And have so much fun with this. There are, I mean, these are just 3 cards out of a bazillion cards that you can make. You can make scrapbook pages with this. I was actually thinking of a couple of scrapbook pages that came to mind playing with this paper. And it would just be so cute to just make like a day out between you and your granddaughter, a day out between you and your daughter, whatever. It would just make, or even a Mother's Day. You know how they make those frames? And it's like a 6x6 frame, and then you use the different flowers and you make samplers. I might actually make one of those and share it with you using this set because I think it would be such a wonderful Mother's Day gift. I really think that this set would have really thrown it over the top with me. And you guys know that I don't like flowers, but this set has really done it for me. I really wish it had a Happy Mother's Day sentiment on there. I think that's the only thing this set is missing for me. That would have just made it like that much better. And especially in that font, huh, it would have done it. I mean, you could even make Easter cards with this. It's just the colors are so spring-like that you guys are going to have a blast with this. So enjoy the rest of your week. I will be live on Thursday, excluding that nobody in the family passes away. I mean, we were kind of expecting any day for Pop to pass on. So it wasn't like super unexpected, but that's why I was not live last Thursday over on YouTube because I was just taking it in with my family. So I will be live and I will be using the Around the Bend set. I've been kind of playing around with that to get myself used to creating cards with that. And I've really come up with a cute one. It's kind of simple, but it's easy enough that you guys could recreate. Again, go over and check out my blog, stampinthepinkbarn.com. You guys can find the blog posts and everything over there for everything that I've talked about tonight. Remember, it's going to take me a while to get pictures done. I have to upload this video over on YouTube. So my best, suggestion for everybody is come back tomorrow and look at my blog. And that's when you'll see everything for these cards. All right, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for sticking with me for these 2 hours. And I will see you guys Thursday. Don't forget to check the supplies over on Mystery Stamping on Wednesday the 8th. All right, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.